Shalom, giving all praise to the Most High Power of Israel, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the 12 tribes scattered. I want to give double honors to all the mighty men, the elders, the Akim, the Akwaf, everyone doing the work in these latter days, in the community, on the camps, the street corners, everyone pushing this work in these latter days. It's going to be a short video on this time that we coming into. I'm gonna open up with Revelation. We can start with Revelation 9 and 11, and it reads, "And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue had his name Apollyon." Verse 12, it reads, "One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more after." This was dealing with the prophecies, dealing with World War I and World War II, right? We're gonna go to the book of Revelations 11 and verse 14. It reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." And this lets you know the Bible, or the words of the Most High, he deals with prophecy. He deals with prophecy, and the forecast. We're gonna bring up some world news today out of just Al Jazeera. This was around 2:45 earlier today. It says Herat, Afghanistan's third largest city, falls to the Taliban. Witnesses tell Al Jazeera becoming the 11th provincial capital to be captured by the armed group in recent days. Later, there was reports. It just reads, "Intense fighting rages in Kandahar city. Intense fighting raging between Afghan forces and Taliban fighters in Kandahar city as the armed group continues to make more gains." Now, here in Babylon the Great, of course, we had the harlot and the pimp and that annoying agenda, which is, it's starting to fade with this new war story coming out of Afghanistan. Now, of course, we all know America kind of trained those guys in Afghanistan. They armed them. They kind of helped them to hold down their own fort. Then the United States, they kind of pulled out of that area, right? Now, with this breaking news, with this war popping off in Afghanistan, there's a bit of a problem now. We all know, the Americas kind of set that thing up. And, they went from teaching, they were telling the public they was going to pull out all the troops, which they tried to do, only to send most recently. There was a later report that the U.S., this was a headline from End Time Headlines, U.S. deploying 3,000 troops to evacuate citizens from Kabul, situation deteriorating across Afghanistan. Now we have a new thing happening on this planet, man. The Most High, they trying to push this harlot pimp agenda to everybody. Now the Most High getting between their little game once again. It went from that agenda to all eyes on Afghanistan, and this thing is these times. These times of this final world war, it's really popping off, man. It's really popping off, and it's getting more and more serious. And we gotta be in the right spirit and the right mind, keeping these law, statutes, and commandments in these latter days, man, because it's getting very serious. Here, in Babylon the Great, they're just trying to jam up everybody with that annoying agenda. But with this war going on, and on this war topic, this week you had the United States. They went viral saying that the prostitute and the pimp, they basically invaded the United States military. 2 days afterwards, they quickly changed the agenda to for armed forces from mandate to an option, an exemption, because they know if they weaken their own military, what chances they're going to have in this final world war. And even with that option put on a so-called armed forces, they're not going to win this war, man. We all know they're not going to win this war. But the Most High, he's showing his strength and keep jamming up these wicked elites and this agenda that they trying to push. Basically, a modern day, a new Babylonian movement on all humanity. But we can see that's going nowhere fast. And now you have this madman in a suit, Fauci, or whatever the hell his name is. He went viral recently talking about anyone that slept with Susan, if you know what I mean. You gotta sugarcoat, because they'll can your video in a second, man. Esau mad as hell now, watching his kingdom collapse. Now he's saying if you took an initial jab, you gotta do booster jabs and all this stuff, man. And it's funny, we talking about this guy. I talked about him in a previous video, how he sat up there before the congressional hearing and called a lawmaker a liar. Here they recently admitted that those that slept with the pimp, you know what I'm saying, and his women, was actually causing this that extra strand thing that they push. And even after all the truth coming out, you still got them pushing this agenda, and you got so-called America not making no arrests, no shutting down of those organizations that's pushing this madness, this mad agenda on poor people. And in these little towns outside major cities, God only knows what they're doing to the citizens right now, man. They might be, brother put out a video. Yeah, Esau driving. I think this was around Canada. It's maybe in the Canada area. But he was just checking out concentration camps, man. Because what they gonna do, a lot, not all of us, but some of us gonna get jammed up. They gonna make the case to say you're not fit to be in the midst of the masses, so they're just gonna jam you up and basically cut your head off. They're gonna throw you in the death camp, man. It's looking more and more like how do you say, World War II like scenario, like Nazi Germany here in America now, man. Or Babylon the Great, and these so-called powers that be, their horns getting bigger and bigger. I said it one time, I'll say it again. These so-called white people, they the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. With this agenda, so much for enjoying the how you say, the Babylon the Great, or the American walk of freedom. Right? We ain't free no way. It's to the point where you either get down or they stripping you of your livelihood. You know what I'm saying? It's getting real in these latter days. So Israel, we just got to stay up. Look like there's some type of war brewing. And I'm telling you guys, Russia is already in that area. When you check out other world news, RT News, other international sources out there, Russia's already in that area. So if America get in any type of combat situation and the Russians are there, there's going to be a much bigger escalation of war, a domino effect. When you go into the scriptures, the Most High tell us that the Persians and the Medes, the same Persians and Medes that destroyed ancient Babylon, they're going to destroy Babylon the Great. That's what's going to happen in these latter days. So I'm going to pull a couple more scriptures. It's going to be a short, it's not going to be a long video. Let's open the book of Isaiah 13 and verse. I'm going to read Isaiah 13 and verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And that's dealing with the judgment of these nations, chiefly Babylon the Great. Because this thing, you could tell it's winding down. Jacob's trouble is trying to enter that peak. It's not fully at a peak yet. But with people losing their jobs, people falling off, even brothers in the truth, man, it's just hard times right now, man. We coming into something very prophetic, something very, very serious, and we have to hold on tight, because once this war pop off, if they so much is locked down, which they may in these mega cities, it's just gonna be total anarchy. Like the elders used to teach, man, it's gonna be like the purge. It's gonna be like a purge movie out there, man. It's just gonna be a lot of sorrows and lots of bloodshed in these latter days, man, because the Most High is judging this place. The Most High is definitely judging, Babylon the Great. And our people, if they don't wake up, man, they're going to be on the wrong side of this plague that's passing through, and it's just going to eventually, it's going to be the demise of a lot of our people, a lot of heathens, but two parts of our people. Let's get two parts of our people quick, fast, because they hard-headed, man, and they don't like this truth. We're going to read the book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8. It reads this: And it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. Verse 9 reads, And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will find them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. That's dealing with the fiery trials right now. That's dealing with these hard times we're dealing with, these trials. And, that trumpet sound, God willing, we get the right hand side of that judgment. Some brothers maybe get beamed up with the fire coming, in that season where, the Most High had a nation shoot them ICBMs and burn America away, because that's what's about to happen. This is judgment, man. We enter into a season of great judgment, and if we not keeping these laws, that the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments, you can easily get jammed up. And, you know, you don't want to end up on the left-hand side in these times of Jacob's trouble. And Jacob's trouble is starting to enter its peak. You know, mandates, FEMA camps, you know, people potentially getting taken from their own home into some debt camp, you know. That's the time we entering into. So these so-called elites, they showing you they were never good from the beginning. They're showing us that more and more. They're showing us they're just not, you know. These people never knew the God of the Bible. They lied on God, time, and history. And, you know, they're showing the world that, you know, they're the biggest villain there ever was, you know. The whole time they were a corrupt people. Let's get that in Job 9:24. I'm gonna wind it down. Not making this a long video. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given to the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And that's a real easy one today. The so-called white man, woman, and child, the nation of Edom, they're that corrupt force that's in power. These banker families, these so-called banker families, these elites, you know, the super rich that just do crafty counsel to keep the poor people down, chiefly the Hebrew Israelites. That's their whole agenda, was to, let's lock it, keep the Hebrews from ever knowing who they were and keep them in perpetual sin. But, you know, the Most High in his spirit, you know, he woke up that remnant elect that you see. You know, you see the camps round about worldwide teaching this truth in these latter days. And, you know, this beast, man, he was only given but a short time, you know. He was only given a short time. And, you know, he know his time is thinning, so he just gonna try to do every wicked act before the Most High get between them and destroy him. I'm gonna read Obadiah 1:15. I'm gonna wind down. I didn't want this to be a very long video today. Got out the plantation, so it's not like previous videos. Like those were videos done on the Sabbath. I'm just getting out of the plantation, so little tired right now. Slakia. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. And you see this famine, it's not just affecting America, Babylon the Great. It's affecting the whole world. So all the so-called nation of Edom, them wicked Hamites, these the Persians, all them other nations that had their hand in afflicting the children of Israel, they feeling it. They feeling it now, and there's nothing they can do to stop this judgment, man. But this war brewing with Afghanistan, that's popping up more and more and more. And if there's a conflict with America and Russia out there, y'all know all manner of hell gonna break loose. We know that's, and it's gonna happen. Eventually, they're gonna collide, and this thing gonna spread like a wildfire. It's like a domino effect. Russia allies gonna get in on it. It's gonna cause all types of chaos for these so-called elites, and they're so desperate. They'll use war. They'll use this war as a way to try to get money to keep their wicked agenda going. But they're gonna have a surprise coming in the midst of this World War II, when Hamashiach Yahushua crack these skies open and deal with these heathens, man. That's what's gonna happen to them in these days to come. Most High willing, we all live, hopeful elect, we all live to see that glorious day. And God willing, get the covenant, hopeful elect. Now, I always teach, I ain't going to get bold and proud and tell you I'm going in, man. I'm unworthy of this thing, man. And we all died in the previous world during that time of Noah, the time of the flood, because, children of God were going off then as we go off today. So we got to pray, fast, repent. Brothers, I always bring this out. You got to love one another, man. All that bickering that goes on in the Israelite community, that's a no-no, especially in this time we living in. Let God judge us, man. Not brothers, generally saying, putting themselves over whole communities of people and exhorting men. That's a no-no. We're not gonna move like that in these last days. I love my brothers, especially all the camps doing this work roundabout in the family and social media. But we gotta move in the spirit the Most High tell us to move in, chiefly loving one another. I'm gonna get, this is probably gonna be my last one. Let's open the book of 1 John. We're gonna go to 1 John. Slakia. 1 John 4. I'm gonna read 1 John 4 and 7. Through 11. This is 1 John 4 and 7. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God, and knoweth God. Verse 8, he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Slakia. 1 John 4 and verse 8 from the top. He that loveth not God, slacker, he that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Verse 9. In this was manifested the love of God towards us, because that God sent his only begotten Son into the world that we might live through him, chiefly the Hebrew Israelites. Verse 10, herein is love, not that we love God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation, slakia, for of our sins. Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought also to love one another. I'm going to read 1 John 4 and verse 11 again. This is a good verse right here. Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought also to love one another. And with that, I'm going to give all praise to the Most High power of Israel, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the 12 tribe scatters. Family, love y'all. Just keep pushing this work. Just keep pushing to this glorious day and endure to the end. Shalom, family.